This episode is brought to you by Audible. My Audible pick for the month of March is The Underground Railroad by Colson Whitehead. Now, y'all know I've been telling y'all about this book for the last couple weeks, and I really enjoy it. I highly recommend this book, y'all. It's a good story, but it's also rooted in history, and I really appreciate that. Right now, Audible is offering my listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. You can use your free offer to download The Underground Railroad or any of the thousands of titles available on Audible right now. Just go to audibletrial.com/unicorns talk to get your free audiobook today. Welcome to Unicorns Talk Podcast, your weekly girl talk about Black women, our healing, and manifestation. My name is Latrice Sampson Richards, your life enhancement coach, and together we're going to live, laugh, and learn to love all of life's little messes. While I am a licensed clinician, please keep in mind that this show is not a substitute for your own relationship with a mental health provider. Let's go. Hey y'all, thank you so much for tuning in to episode 66 of Unicorns Talk Podcast. My name is Latrice Sampson Richards. I am a mental and emotional wellness creative, and I'm super excited to be here with y'all as usual. I have a really good show planned for y'all today. The season is winding down. I decided last year that I was going to do seasons instead of just perpetual episodes because I got to make this fit within my schedule. And I like being able to come fresh and be fresh when I come and talk to y'all and stuff like that. So I decided to go with the seasons, and I'm really happy that I did. Season 2 is going to be coming to an end on April 24th, so the last weekend or the last week of April. So we have 4 episodes left in this season. Season 3 is going to return on August 6th, which is the day after my birthday. So y'all know it's going to be a celebration. And so, I hope that y'all will come back to me when it's time. But you can still download and listen and rate and subscribe and all of that good stuff. Even while the show is on break, you don't have to stop listening. You know what I'm saying? You can take this time to get caught up on all the episodes that you've missed, and share it with your people. If you haven't already, make sure that you rate, comment, and subscribe on Apple Podcasts or anywhere that you're listening right now. You can use the hashtag Unicorns Talk Pod across all of your social media to let me know that you're listening, and please share me with your people. You know what I'm saying? Let your people know that you enjoy this show or whatever. I know it's different or whatever, or at least I hope it is, but it's me, and it's for the benefit of my people, specifically my Black women, and I just hope that y'all enjoy the content that I'm putting out there. Today's episode is a good one. I'm really looking forward to it. So I was listening to episode 8 of season 2 of Black Mary Fly podcast. Shout out to Candace and Trev. The episode title is Tidying Up. So y'all make sure y'all go listen to it. But Trev was talking about how he had to have a conversation with his mama and basically check his mama about respecting his decisions as an adult. And when I heard it, I had to pause it because I was like, oh my God, like I literally just had this conversation with my mother like a few days before I was listening to that episode. And it kind of dawned on me that this is something that millennials across the age spectrum are really dealing with. Our parents, they tend to overstep, you know what I'm saying? Like they tend to overstep, and there's a fine line between caring about somebody and just overreaching, and my parents crossed that line. As I heard on the show, Black Mary Fly, Candace mama be not Candace, Trev mama be crossing that line. And so this is something that we're dealing with, and we're not really talking about it. Monday we released the second episode of Heart to Heart with Latrice Sampson Richards over at blackmaryfly.com/heart to heart. That's the number 2. And I talked about how to keep your parents out of your relationships, because that's something that a lot of us struggle with. I feel like the number one area that parents, well, the top 2 areas that parents tend to meddle is in our relationships, our marriages, or whatever kind of relationship it is, and in our parenting. And so, I wanted to just give us some information on how we can set boundaries and really keep our parents out of our relationships, and make sure that we're clear about how we choose for them to interact with us. So today I'm giving you 3 possible reasons why your parents just don't understand. So when I came up with the topic or the title for today's episode, it seemed like it made sense to me. And in my head, I was singing, Fresh Prince. There's no need to argue. Parents just don't understand. That was my beatboxing. That was my beatboxing. I hope y'all enjoyed it. I be beatboxing sometimes, but that's just me. And so anyway, I want to talk about this because one, I want to give us a voice, and verbalize it, because it's not something that is widely discussed for whatever reason, and we'll possibly talk about that as one of these reasons, but also just to help us to be able to wrap our minds around it and understand it for what it is. The 3 possible reasons that we're talking about today, well, 2 of them kind of come from the same grain, just different sides of the same coin. But then the other is the one thing that nobody really wants to acknowledge or admit, but you're always thinking it in the back of your head. Okay. And so, let's go ahead and get started. So one of the top reasons why your parents struggle to understand you is because life today is so different than what it was when they were our age. And so the reality is that, the times have changed. And it's so crazy, like, to hear myself say shit like that, because phrases like this kind of make me cringe, because I remember back when my mama used to say, the times are changing or whatever. Like anytime we in the car and a NWA album comes on, a song comes on the radio or something. But it's the truth. Like Earth in 2019 is so much more complex than it was back in the day. And yet so much of it is still the same. I mean, at the end of the day, coming of age is coming of age, like there are a lot of the same things that our parents had to grapple with as they were moving into adulthood that we also still have to grapple with, like figuring out relationships, like figuring out our finances, like, raising a family and how to, raise kids and all of those things. Like those are things that they definitely had to deal with as well. But the climate in which we are dealing with it is vastly different. You know what I'm saying? And so, like, when my parents were in their late 20s and 30s, they were like 10 to 15 years outside of the civil rights movement. At that time, Reagan was still president. And really, they was just doing the best that they could to try to raise 3 children as government employees. Both of them were government employees. And so they sacrificed a lot of their freedoms during that time to fight for ours, to make sure that we lived a better life. And so as a result, we millennials are really the first generation benefactors of the civil rights movement. Never in U.S. history have Black people been as educated, employed, engaged, and included as we are today. And that's all because of the efforts of those who came before us. They put in the work. And while we are truly grateful, I certainly am. I mean, I thank you. You know what I'm saying? I am truly grateful for their sacrifices. But at the same time, we have to be provided with the space that we need in order to leave our mark on the world, in order to shape the world that we want to see for our kids and for our futures. By the time my mama was my age, she had been married for 14 years. She was a mother to a 13-year-old boy and 5 and 4-year-old girls, all while holding down a full-time job, cooking a hot meal every night, and being a wife. Clearly, I am not my mother. I married my husband 2.5 years ago. I'm still waiting on my miracle baby. And I spend far more time away from my loved ones than I would like to because of my job. And this is the plight that a lot of us are facing. Our reality looks very different than what theirs did. And so they struggle to understand and to respect the additional variables that we have to consider in our journey through adulthood, because to them, they're like, they can't fathom what we're facing. because it's so different than what they know, what their parents knew. But even what they went through is different than what their parents went through. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's the age old, conflict, parent child conflict. They have a hard time empathizing with us because they have a hard time understanding our circumstances and the world that we are trying to make it in. And so, I think it's worth it for us to acknowledge that, that struggle exists there, and kind of, I think, give them a little bit of leeway in terms of either educating them about your situation or acknowledging and accepting for yourself that this could possibly be something that they're struggling with. And so maybe not give them a pass, because you still got to set boundaries, but have a little empathy toward that situation as well. Okay. All right. The second possible reason why your parents don't understand, and this is the one that we all feel it under the surface, but nobody really wants to talk about it out loud for whatever reason. But they don't think you're ready. They don't believe that you're ready. Either they feel like they failed at preparing you, or they feel like you have not shown them that you're capable of making good choices, whether that is reality or not. That's what they feel, and they are concerned. They are concerned for you. They're concerned for your future. They're concerned for your children's future. And so I think that there's something to be said for that as well. And that can kind of go both ways, because on the one hand, if you do know what the fuck you doing and you do have all of your shit together, and like you're making good choices, or you're thinking through your decisions, and like you really like doing this adulting shit, you know what I'm saying? Like, if you are responsible and you're trying your best and giving it your all to figure this out, then it can be very frustrating when they can't see that, or they can't acknowledge that for whatever reason, whether that's because they don't want to and they just stuck in their ways, or if that's because you're not showing it to them, or they can't see it, or it's so different from what they are used to that they have a hard time wrapping their head around it. So it doesn't matter what the reason why. If you are out here adulting and winning, and or trying your best to win, and they consistently question your decision making capabilities, then that can be very frustrating. It can, and it really is a high risk of creating some type of tension in your relationship with your parents, which is not anything that anybody wants. Nobody wants to be at odds with their parent, but it's a real thing. It is. It really is. Now, on the other hand, if you out here making real horrible choices and you're not taking care of your kids, or you are allowing other people to get in the way of your ability to really adult the way that adulting needs to happen, you know what I'm saying? If you are not making good choices, if you are putting yourself at risk and they don't trust you, then I think that's an indicator that maybe you need to get your shit together. If you start showing them that you can make better choices, then they won't feel like they need to be so worried and concerned about you. In that case, their concern, their worry is valid. And some of us, we don't want to admit that their worry and concern is valid, but it is. And if you really wanted to be honest with yourself, and that some of what they are concerned about is valid. And so you don't have to fight them every chance. Now, yeah, like, say it one time and move around. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't need you to keep harping on it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, are you listening? Are you receiving what's being said? Okay. So whether they don't believe that you're ready because they can't see it, or if they don't believe that you're ready because you're not ready, that it is one of the reasons that they overreach and they overstep, because at the end of the day, every parent wants to know that their child is okay, which kind of takes us into the third possible reason, which is that they want you to be okay. They want to know that you will be okay. I think I heard one time, I feel like I heard this in a movie, but I can't remember if it was a movie or if it was somebody like I was talking to, but it felt like a movie. I don't remember. But I heard somebody say once that, the parent's job, if you have not prepared your child for adulthood, then you have failed as a parent. And I think that's so true. It is. A lot of parents believe that their job is to love their child. It is not your job to love your child. It would be nice. It would definitely be nice. But your job is to prepare them for adulthood. That is why they were given to you. And love is a part of that, but it is not the totality of that. And so every parent wants to feel like they have, if something were to happen to them today or tomorrow, that their child is going to be okay, that their child is going to be able to stand on their own, that their child is going to be taken care of and can take care of themselves. My daddy, took ill when I was in high school, and it was bad. It was real bad. And I remember when I got married, or like, when I was about to get married, my daddy told me, he said, my prayer, when I got sick, my prayer was just let me live long enough to see my children be okay. Like, I want to make sure Tracy graduate because I'm the baby. And, I always, when that happened, then my prayer was, let them find somebody that's really good for them and going to take care of them. Like, even though my daddy is still here, thank the Lord, hallelujah, you know what I'm saying? But that was his prayer. And my daddy is not like a praying man, but that was his prayer, is that his children would be okay if something were to happen to him. You get what I'm saying? And so no matter what your relationship is with your parent, on some level, this is what they want. Now, this is barring, of course, like some type of personality disorder or something, like, I get it. Not all parents are A+ parents, I was blessed to have really good parents. And so that, you know what I'm saying? But I recognize that that's not everybody's experience. And so if that's not your experience, then, this conversation may not necessarily be for you, or it could be. It could be, because it might, I don't know, it might help you to feel a little bit differently about it. Your parents want to make sure that you're okay. They want you to be okay. And sometimes they don't know the best way to go about doing that. If some parents want to make sure that you're tough and you're strong enough to face the world. And so their way of showing that is to be extra, extra hard on you. It's coming from a good place. It's just the methods are not good. And it causes tension and strain in the relationship. So no matter what type of relationship you have with your parents, 9 times out of 10, at the end of the day, they're doing what they're doing because they think it's the right thing to do. They think that they are helping you. They want to help you. And I think that matters. It really does. All right. So that's what I got for y'all today. 3 possible reasons why your parents just don't understand. Times they are different, very, very different. Or they believe that you're not ready for one reason or another. And at the end of the day, they really just want to know that you're okay and that you're going to be okay if something happens to them. I'm looking forward to hearing y'all stories about your relationships with your parents. How are you working on getting your parents to understand who you are and communicating, setting boundaries and all of that good stuff, make sure you tune in and come have a chit chat with me on IG Live on Monday night at 7:30 p.m. You can check out my IG at Latrice Sampson Richards. And if something comes up for you as you are processing this, or if you are in a tense or tight relationship with your parents and you need somebody to talk to help you work that out, I would love to help you deal with that. You can shoot me an email at support@latricesampsonrichards.com, and I got your back, boo. Okay. All right. Coming up next is High Five. Hey y'all, this episode is also brought to you by the blackunicornproject.com, which is my blog that I've been managing for about 4 or 5 years now. We deal with everything around Black culture and well-being, and it's a great spot. You know, we have information about parenting, finances, music, all kinds of issues and events going on across the diaspora. Y'all should definitely check it out. One of my Trust Village members had sent me a message the other day, and she was like, girl, I've been sleeping on the blackunicornproject.com, but I ain't gonna sleep no more. So, you know, head on over and check it out. Let me know what you think. If you would like to submit an article or guest article for the blackunicornproject.com, you can email me at hello@theblackunicornproject.com and let me know what you want to do, and we're gonna make it happen. Okay. Today's high five goes to a reggae artist named Koffee, and that's Coffee with a K, Koffee. Coffee is a 19-year-old like musical genius. She's so awesome and amazing. I was doing some research on her, and I came upon an interview, like an introductory interview. She's only been in the industry, like making music, for about 18 months, but it's obvious that this is where she's supposed to be. She is extremely talented. I like her flow. I like the way that she just kind of like rides the beat. You know what I'm saying? Like she's awesome and amazing. She's influenced by so many different genres of music, and you can really hear it in her presentation. Like she's awesome. And in that interview, the thing that really made me love her is how humble she is and just really down to earth. She's from Spanish Town, Jamaica, and she just talks about how she was raised to be humble. She was raised to be polite and just to be a decent person. And I really appreciate that about her. I think she's going to go really far. Y'all make sure y'all check her out. High five Coffee for, following your dream and your purpose. It's clear that this is a part of your purpose. And I'm excited about seeing the direction that she goes in. So y'all make sure y'all check her out. High five, honey. Okay, so today's reality check goes to Megan, Michael, and Sarah, but specifically Megan from I think it's on WeTV. It's a WeTV show called Love After Lockup. Now, I never used to watch Love After Lockup, but everybody watches this show. I have a friend of mine. She was like, girl, you seen Love After Lockup? Have you watched it? She, like, for the whole season, ever since last season, she was like, you need to watch Love After Lockup. And then they also talk about it often on The Friend Zone, which you all know is one of my favorite podcasts to listen to personally. And so anyway, I finally binge watched, and got caught up on it. And this season 2, so let me tell y'all, for those of you who've never seen Love After Lockup, it's a show about couples who meet on an online dating website for prisoners. So it's kind of like pen pals, but, in the millennial pen pals, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's online. It's a dating app. And so you can start talking to people who are in jail. And the show follows, I think it's like 5 couples who are where the inmate is about to get released. And so love after lockup, because now they get out and they're trying to like figure out this relationship. And because they've never seen each other before, like some of them have only talked online or talked on the phone and stuff, but they've been in these relationships for 2 and 3 years and shit. shit, and they in love and they want to get married and all of this and all of that. I ain't hating on nobody, get in where you fit in, you know what I'm saying? Because who knows? I mean, people find love in all the craziest places. So I'm never going to judge somebody's love because you don't know what the situation is. People talk shit about online dating, but I know a couple right now that's happily married with kids, a nice little blended family, and they met online, like Yahoo Dating or something like that. And so I don't judge anybody's how we met story, point blank, period. But on the show, one of the couples, it's a throuple that is highlighted on the show is this chick named Megan, the dude named Michael, and Sarah. So Michael has been in and out of jail his whole life, and Sarah is his wife. Now, Sarah is a white girl, Megan is a black girl, and Michael is a black dude. So he married Sarah while he was in jail this last time, okay? And they have a 2-year-old daughter together. Now, the daughter came obviously before he went to jail, but he met Megan online. And he says that he was really in love with Megan and that the only reason why he married Sarah was because he wanted to be a part of his child's life. And he was worried that if he left Sarah or told Sarah he didn't want to be with her, that she wouldn't let him see his child. And so that's why he married her, and he felt all this pressure because he really wanted to be with Megan. So the whole time, Megan knew that he had a baby. Megan knew that he had a baby mama. She knew the baby mama name was Sarah, but she didn't know that he was still in a relationship with Sarah. She didn't know that he married Sarah because he actually asked Megan to marry him as well. It's a hot ass mess, you know what I'm saying? But, long story short, Megan found out, or Sarah found out about Megan after Michael went back to jail because of Megan, to be honest, if we're going to be all the way real. He went back to jail. Really, it was because of him. It wasn't because of Megan. It was because he made poor choices trying to juggle 2 relationships because he was doing too goddamn much. That's why Michael went back to jail. But anyway, so Sarah found out about Megan because Michael's parole officer told Sarah about Megan. So she orchestrated this little meetup where really she was trying to pull up on Megan, and I didn't like the way it was done, but whatever, so her and Megan sit down and they communicate, and I really felt like Megan, I did appreciate the way that she handled it. She handled it the best that she could, but long story short, Megan found out that he was married and that Sarah was pregnant again and all of this other stuff, but at the end of the show, they do like the recap because that was the finale. So they do the recap and they say like, where are they now, basically? And they said that Megan is still talking to Michael. And so I wanted to highlight this today for our reality check because I think that this storyline is a really perfect example of how emotion can trump logic. Okay. Now, next week, our episode for next week is Emotion versus Logic, a guide. And so I'm going to really break this down in a lot of detail. So y'all make sure that y'all check out episode 67 of Unicorns Talk Podcast. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm going to go into a lot more detail. But today, I think I just want to call it to our attention because we need to be able to see what this looks like in real life. This is what it looks like in real life. It's not like this is just one of the ways that it can look in real life when our emotion trumps our logic. And it happens so quickly, we don't even realize that it's happening. That's how powerful our emotions are. Okay? Emotion trumps logic every single time. Because nothing about that situation from Megan, being Megan in the situation, right? Nothing about that situation said, girl, this ain't right, girl. Something ain't right about this girl. Like he was not even a good liar. Like, for example, when he first got out, Megan was supposed to come and meet him. Like she was supposed to be the one to pick him up from wherever, like from the jail or whatever. So he let this girl buy a ticket, get to the airport. Her brother dropped her off at the airport. She's literally checking in for her flight when he calls her and tells her he don't want her to come pick him up. When she's checking in for her flight, no, don't come. And her spidey senses went off because she was like, what the fuck you mean don't come? And he fed her this line about, I got something special planned for you, and I don't want us to meet like that. I don't want you to see me like this. I need to clean up and this, that, and the other, which, in a clouded mind can sound very logical. But that was a huge red flag. We've been talking for 2 years. I am your fiance. Why would you not want to see me immediately after you get out of jail that you've been in for 3 years or 5 years or however long it's been? Right? And yet, as hurt as she was, because she went in the bathroom and cried and all of that, as hurt as she was, she continued with the relationship. She asked a few questions. He answered some bullshit answers, and her emotion took over because she loves him. She's in love with him. Megan was a virgin. She gave him her virginity. That's a bond. That's a bond, And so the fact that after all of this now, she's found out that he married and got another baby on the way and all of this other stuff, that he'd been lying to you your entire relationship. He had been lying to you about, he got married while he was engaged to you. Like, that's fuckboy on a whole other level. And yet she's still communicating with him, still in a relationship with him. Because she loves him. Her emotion is overriding logical thinking right now. Because nothing about this situation says continue. Nothing. And yet she does. And, when at first I felt for Megan, I did, because she didn't know the extent of everything. And, I understand. I done been stupid in love before. Like, I get it. I totally understand it. But after you find out everything and you're making a choice to participate in this. And that is I just feel like that's a bit much. It's hard for me to have sympathy for you at that point. Right? But I just thought that this was a really good, illustration of how emotion trumps logic. And like I said, next week, we're going to talk a lot more about this. I'm going into a lot of detail about it because I have theories, you know what I'm saying? So y'all make sure y'all tune in for that. And I want to give a few shout outs to Black Married Fly podcast. Episode 2 of Heart to Heart with Latrice Sampson Richards actually released on Monday at blackmarriedfly.com/heart to heart. Like I said earlier, the topic is how to keep your parents out of your relationships. I'm giving you 3 tips on how to make that happen. And as you know, my tips are always actionable. So you can take a listen at that and start putting some things in place right now. The link is in the show notes for today. And remember, if you want to schedule a heart-to-heart session, you can use the link at blackmarriedfly.com and get it for $99 instead of the regular $135. That's a real good discount. You know what I'm saying? All right. Make sure. Oh, I also want to give a shout out to Jaden Hollywood. Jaden Hollywood, as you know, is my boo, but he is also my personal financial life coach. Jaden is amazing. He's helping me with my taxes. He's helping me create a budget because I got goals and shit that I'm trying to accomplish out here in these streets. You know what I'm saying? And Jaden is, he's a financial wizard. Like, he really is. So y'all make sure y'all holler at Jaden. He's going to be making a really big launch real soon. And so y'all make sure y'all check him out. So shout out to Jaden Hollywood for making it happen. What else? What else? What else? What else? Oh, I'm doing a meetup this Saturday with my Trust Village group. It's a meetup on Saturday, March 30th from 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. We're going to be meeting at Gigi's Music Cafe, which is a Black-owned, like a speakeasy restaurant kind of thing going on out here in South Florida. I'm really looking forward to that. So if you're in the South Florida area and you are a member of Trust Village, which if you're not a member, get your whole life, God, go ahead and make it happen. But if you are a member of Trust Village and you're in the South Florida area, I would love for you to join me. Just go to the events tab inside of Trust Village and let me know that you're coming, because I need to make a reservation or whatever. And I can't wait to see y'all and laugh with y'all and have some drinks with y'all. The New Orleans meetup was amazing. I'm definitely going to try to do that again before the year is over. My villagers are like, girl, when you coming to here? Or one of them said last night, when you coming to Alabama? You need to come to Alabama. I said, girl, I sure would love to come to Alabama. Go on and give me a reason to come on out there. You know what I'm saying? And I'm with it. So if you have an event or anything going on, please keep me in mind. I would love to come and talk to y'all and participate and teach y'all or learn y'all a few things and just fellowship and hug on y'all and all of that good stuff as well. I can't wait to see y'all this Monday on IG Live for Unicorns Talk Back at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Y'all make sure y'all come on out. I enjoy that time with y'all. And y'all be coming and talking to me, and we be talking about the episodes and stuff like that, because y'all be jumping in my inbox from time to time with questions about the episode. And so I feel like, I wanted to create a space for us to talk about it together because I like it. I enjoy interacting with y'all. Make sure you join my free Facebook group, Trust Village. It's a safe space for healing and manifestation. And follow me on all of the social medias, Facebook and Instagram at Latrice Sampson Richards. Check out my stories and things. Make it happen, Captain. That's how they go. Make it happen. That's how we say it. Anyway, that's all I got for y'all today. Thank you so much for tuning in and giving me your time. I know you could have listened to a whole lot of other people talk for an hour now, 30 minutes, something like that. And I appreciate you for listening to me. I love y'all and I appreciate y'all. And until next time, be well. Bye, y'all.